Cool, and everything's rolling. So if you want to lean back, you can move that mic a little bit closer to you so you don't gotta, you want to be comfy, stay good.
Okay.
Beer in hand, everything's good to go.
Check 157.
I think I can hear you.
200.
Can you hear me?
I forgot I put my one ear off.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Cool. Let's do this. Hello and welcome to Start the Beat with Sykes. My name is Sykes and this is my podcast. Before we get started, I just wanted to take a quick moment to thank everyone who checked out the last episode. If you're one of the people who listened to that conversation, I hope you enjoyed it and thanks so much for coming back. But for those of you out there who are new to the show, welcome. Please feel free to make yourselves at home. And as always, there's beer and soda in the fridge. Cheers, my friend. Hope everyone's doing well today. We're sitting here with my, I haven't seen you in a really, really long time.
Yeah, we were toddlers, basically tykes, except not really.
Yeah,
we were I was a teenager.
Yeah, we were
a young teen,
late teens, making angry, yelly music.
Yes,
but things have moved on.
Things have moved on. I'm still angry and yelling, but just not
musically.
Not musically. Well, actually, I kind of am musically because I'm always writing something that's angsty. So in a way,
sure, but you've found some way to make this music. You've made the anger a little bit more digestible.
Yes.
It's
not like blah 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 blah. It's like la 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 la. I'm mad.
That sounds like that's your next song right there.
La,
that's
la,
a hook.
La la. I'm mad.
Yeah.
La 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 la. I'm mad. La 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 la. I'm mad.
So yes, we're sitting here today with singer, songwriter, musician, dark pop artist, if you will, Alaena. Make some noise for the internet. So, for anyone out there that is not familiar with you, what do you want to tell the internet, just in general, about yourself?
Hello, internet. I am Alaena, and I am, as he said, a dark pop, grunge pop, goth Britney Spears child. That's literally what I feel like it sounds like when I do this to my head. Boing.
Hell yeah.
Okay. But I am the child of Marilyn Manson and Britney Spears.
Okay. That's an awesome description.
So you know.
Cool.
Yeah. What else do I need to tell them? Everything?
That's probably enough.
Yeah. That's a good start.
We had loosely mentioned that, you come from a heavier background and we're not going to really dig into the past and what was what happened. It doesn't really fucking matter.
Yeah.
But obviously you're sitting here, you have a Black Dahlia Murder t-shirt on. And, you obviously have this heavy background, but where I want to start the conversation is just that transition from heavy music into a pop environment. What was that like for you? I imagine you'd probably been writing some sort of music for a while and just making the transition.
Yeah.
How was it?
So I actually started with electronic, EDM style music, and it was right when Britney Spears came out with her album that had Hold It Against Me and those songs that was very dubstep influenced.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh man, I could totally make something like this because I loved pop music, but I felt like nothing was dark, and that was the first thing I heard that kind of had because I always thought dubstep had metal influence in it.
Oh, 1000%.
Yeah. So I was like, this is so cool. This is where I can kind of try and capitalize on this. So I started writing songs with my friend who was in this band called At the Throne of Judgment.
Yeah.
Do you remember that band? Mm-hmm. So he was writing pop music and we got together and we started making some songs and they kind of just, some got out, some didn't, but it started there, and then I was touring full time with my band, so it got very hard to juggle, and things kind of got sat on the back burner. And then I left my band and was like, you know what, I need to be doing this full time, and just was in development for a year and a half, and then started releasing songs slowly, and then just been going full force for the last 3 years with just 2 years releasing songs constantly, every 2 or 3 months. Now I'm trying to do it every month.
Yeah, it's really hard to keep up with the the social requirements of
ridiculous.
I don't want to use the term ADD, but it somewhat feels like that, an ADD audience.
It really is. Like, I feel like, and I am kind of guilty of it too, because there's so much music that can be heard now that we're like spoiled, you know?
Yeah.
We're so spoiled to the point where we hear a song for like a week and then we have to hear something new on a new playlist. Like, we can't have a playlist for more than a week because we're over those songs.
Oh, fuck yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like the Spotify playlists are updated every week. And every week, by the time it gets to the next playlist, everybody's like, okay, I'm over that round of songs. Now it's for the next. It's like, what? The longevity, where is it?
It's so hard. I find the only way that most artists now can stay relevant is by becoming something that they really aren't. Like, you have to become this almost this social media figure.
Yeah.
And like, that's cool, but like, I don't really give a fuck all like that. Like, I
Yeah.
just want to make music. I want to take my time on it and put out something good. And I would hope that people can appreciate it for some length of time.
Yeah.
But the problem is, if you don't keep up with all of the hype shit, just being this bullshit social media figure, so people even irrelevant people will just forget about you. And then whenever you drop music, it's like, well, nobody's going to hear it because they just forgot you existed.
Exactly.
And the only way you can make people remember that you exist is just by being like, oh, look, here's a fucking waffle. Here's my cat. Here's my friend. Like, it's just nonsense.
It's so stupid because I feel like there's so many Instagram famous-esque people just from like either who their friends were or like what they've posted, like the kind of pictures they posted. And then they decide they want to do music. So all of a sudden they have this huge fan base that the music might not even be good. And it's like, geez, you can't do everything. Pick what you want.
Another
Stop taking away from us.
Yeah, it's like you don't want your life to be a TGI Fridays menu that has like a little bit of everything.
God, I wish that is like needs to be the quote of the year, because I can't tell you how many people you see on their Instagram bios like, I am an artist, I'm a dancer, I'm a singer, I like to do long hikes on the beach, I'm also a chef, and I'm also blah 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 blah. It's like, what huh?
Sure.
Okay, how do you find the time to do all of that? Are you really good at all of them? You're making money from all of them? How are you doing all of it? I understand having hobbies, like, I have a hobby and it's like doing music videos and taking pictures, but that's my hobby. I don't put all my time into it. It's like something I like to do on the side. It's because it's creative.
Yeah.
I like to do some little art things here and there, but I'm not going to go like flaunting it to the world. I am a professional, this, that. I don't know.
It's almost like that. It reminds me a lot of that quote that dude from Oasis said a really long time ago, where he was talking about how if you tell people that you're the best in the world, like a large percentage of them will believe you.
Yeah.
I think it's just, if you have that confidence, like, I'm this, I'm that, a lot of people will be like, well, I guess
they are.
I guess so.
It really is true though, because I feel like this day and age, everybody is just a hype follower. And it's, you kind of got to do that. You have to have confidence and hype yourself up, but you got to be able to follow up with it. Like, let's say, you get booked for something really big and you're not really that great at it because it's just one of your little side things you do, but then what? Then you're going to be screwed. You could have had something great if you would have put all your time and effort into what your true passion is,
Yeah. The thing that really bums me out about a lot of artists is that I feel with the way we have to promote ourselves nowadays through social media and everything, you almost become more known for what you don't even want to do in the first place. It's like, say you're a musician and all you want to do is make songs and cool videos, but you get known for just being this social media sort of figure. And that's cool because people know who you are, but people are gravitating towards you for something, like they don't care that much about the music. So it's like, the reason why you want people there is because you want them to like the music, but they're only there because they like, your diet photos or whatever other bullshit you're using that convince people to come to you.
You know what? This is great, because that's exactly what happened when I was transitioning from metal to pop. I had all of my followers and fans were in metal, and I was transitioning to pop, and like nobody gave a crap at all. It was like there's very few, like I can name a handful that reach out to me and say like, I've been following you since Winds of Plague days. Like, I'm happy to see that you're doing this and that, and I love your music. But besides that, I feel like I have like thousands of followers, like ghost followers, who just sit there and they don't do anything on my page because they don't care. They don't want to see what I'm posting because it's not what they're interested in. So it's like rebuilding a completely new fan base and having to let go of the like who you were,
the past,
but
sure.
keep it as your root, but don't let it define you because you're not going to move anywhere. It's really funny because one of my friends, he's doing a project that's like pop also, and he was in a big metal band, and he had a show, and he was like, how many fans are here for, he named his band, and then they were like, raise their hands like, okay, so I guess none of you guys really care about my music. You're only here because I was in that one band.
Sure.
Okay. Because then you think about those fans, if they repost what you're posting, what you want them to do, that you want them to help spread the word, their friends aren't going to be into the same music that, you know, if it's something totally different, it's pop music, their metal friends aren't going to care about that pop music. So what, they're resharing and posting, you know, your music to people who are not going to care. It's just like going to dig you in a trench.
And the other thing that's really complicated too is pursuing music as a solo artist, or at least having that image of a solo artist, because there's always people behind the scenes that are helping out with various things, but it becomes a lot more personal when it's you as a solo artist. And it's like, this is something that I deal with because I still play in a metal band and I still have my solo stuff. And the solo stuff is a lot harder to promote because it's way more personal. And I think the issue that happens whenever you come out of a band, like you're a part of this thing, and you become a solo thing, is that people didn't care about any of the individuals in that band. They cared about the unit as a whole. And now that you're separated from it, it's just kind of like,
it's like you got to put like, you were able to like split your energy up between like however many people, like 5 people in the band. So not everybody wanted all of your attention. They wanted everybody's attention. When it's all you, you're just like, okay, I don't want to give that much out, but I have to, you know?
It's really, really hard because you are, I mean, I'm sure that you work with some people that help you with ideas in terms of like, you know, maybe video ideas, production ideas, wardrobe, art, all those things, you know, all those people help you out with things, but it's still like you have those ideas in your head versus whenever you're in a band with 5 other people, it gets split up a bit. So it's not, the weight of that is a lot less.
Oh God. Yeah.
So it's really like crazy to think about all of the solo artists. And I feel bad for any super duper famous solo artist because you can't even imagine the way they're getting pulled around and like, you know, cause they're getting pulled in 1,000 different directions from people that think they know what's best for them. On top of all the ideas that they already have in their head for what they think is best for themselves.
I just can't even picture like the crazy famous ones. It's just, they have like their assistants, their managers, their probably personal stylists, personal this, that, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, then there are people outside of that going to them, and then those people going to them. And it's like a big food chain right into the middle.
It becomes a thing where it's like, is this even my thing anymore?
I know. It's crazy to think about. But you really got to like, the cool thing about, and the scary thing also about being a solo artist is that you have to bare your soul, or else you're kind of not going to feel like everything is 100% you, or the people that are trying to like give you the input or the advice, they're not going to really, I don't think they're going to necessarily click, because if you're not throwing out there what you want everything to be, like what you want your brand to look like, what you want your music to sound like, and it's 100% what you feel, then the people bringing you ideas aren't going to be what you want, because you're not even giving what you want.
Yeah,
you know,
that's a really good point.
So that's something that I actually dealt with when I first started putting music out, because I felt a little bit limited with the producer that I was working with and the songs that I was writing. I felt like they weren't 100% me, because I felt like I had to be in this pop like format, you know? And it ended up turning out that I was like, you know what, I'm going to start doing my own music videos, producing my own music, because I need to make sure what I'm putting out feels like it's coming from me and not other people behind me, because they're dictating what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm not even dictating what I'm doing, only like a tiny %. So then that way, when people go and listen to my music or they go and see my brand, they'll want to collaborate with me. And then I can choose if I think that it's right or not, because I know exactly what it is and what I want it to be. And hopefully they would be following right along that path and like understand, you know, but it was like, I was getting pulled in like all the wrong directions before, and felt like I was losing sight of who I really was, but not like to a crazy point. But it was like,
enough
if I keep going that way, I'm going to feel like I've wasted so much time.
Sure. You're getting pulled enough in a way where you don't feel like yourself.
Yeah.
And if you aren't able to put out something that you're totally confident in, nobody else is going to be confident in it. You know, you have to have that. Just like there's like this unspoken energy that I think you could tell that just emanates from an artist that's doing something that they really care about versus something that you could feel is like completely manufactured. It gets to a point where everything's kind of manufactured, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's just a part of
the deal.
Yeah.
But there's sometimes where certain artists can put out material, and I feel like it's just like, what is this?
Yeah, it's like, something's not lining up here.
So an artist that, I mean, I could be off about this, and I don't know if you have anything to speak on terms of this, but an artist who I felt got like really pulled off the rails was Lana Del Rey. I feel like she was doing really cool stuff for a while. It felt like it was really genuine, and now it's just like, what is this?
Yeah, I feel like she kind of had to stay in this very somber, depressing like mindset and life and everything. And she might have been there at one point, but I remember her songs before like that one album came out, and it was still her. You could tell, you could feel her lyrics, but there was a little bit of like poppiness in it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can't remember what.
I know she used to go under a different name.
Yeah.
And I can't remember right now. I want to say it was Lizzie something.
I can't remember.
But it was fun. I know some of that stuff kind of ended up on the Born to Die album. And I love the production on that album. I love like how all the hip hop and the string orchestrations of everything, like some songs are slower, some are more upbeat, but it sounds like very like, just sounds very genuine and unique. And now, I mean, I don't know. You know, it's just not for me.
You can tell whenever an artist isn't feeling it when you hear them like singing their songs. I remember I could tell that whenever I was hearing some Britney songs. I'm like, oh man, I can tell she really does not want to be doing this.
So yeah, this is we've brought up Britney multiple times in this conversation.
Sorry, I'm obsessed.
Well, no, let's dig into this actually. So when did the Britney obsession start?
Oh my gosh, when I was little.
Yeah.
I loved Britney and I loved the Spice Girls.
I mean, yeah, we're of that era for sure.
I know. And it just was my dream to be a pop star and in a girl. Well, I wanted to be in a girl group was like one of the big things I wanted. And then when I realized
like a Spice Girls type thing. Okay.
I made it we made like a Spice Girls type group when I was, I don't know, like 9 or 10.
Not to get too sidetracked, just one quick question.
Yes.
Before I forget. Are you on the K-pop train or not?
I am. I do. So I like K-pop, but I'm not going to say that I'm like a super fan. I don't say I hate K-pop because I do actually kind of like it, but I'm in the middle.
There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that really
I feel
bothers
like
me.
I feel like it's very like early pop in the US that's like
sure.
Yeah, it's just like the horror stories I feel like you hear about from like artists and labels and stuff.
Yeah, that stuff makes me feel
used to happen all the time, but now it's impossible for that kind of stuff to happen because the way that the internet is. Like, fine, you don't want to people are not going to get into a deal where it's like really, really bad because there's too many movements going on that like people can get in trouble or, I think people are a lot more aware and stay clear of like the bad in the music.
I was just curious about your perspective as a music listener, because now obviously we're not living in a time where girl groups are really a thing.
Yeah.
But K-pop, it's a huge thing.
Yeah.
So that's like really the only way to kind of
pull that
to get that satisfaction is from a lot of those bands. And there's some pretty good ones.
I mean, I guess my love for girl groups went away as I started getting older, but I do like what are they called? The K-pop girl group.
I mean, there's a few. There's Blackpink. Blackpink's the big one right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're cute.
Yeah.
They're little cuties.
And some of the production on their stuff is really fun. When it comes to the K-pop, I really like Red Velvet.
Yeah.
I think they have some super gnarly production.
Yeah.
Like some really weird outside the box stuff.
You know who I love? Oh, what is her name? Baby Metal.
Oh yeah.
I love
awesome.
Baby Metal. When I heard them for the first time and watched the video, I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
I saw I think it was their first US show in New York City.
Really?
Me and my friends drove up to see it, and it was like the best show I had been to in a really long time, because the band was super tight, and it was like the wildest mixture of people in this place. It was fucking awesome. I will say though, not to be like a poo-poo pants, but like the new stuff that they're doing is kind of bumming me out. It's just not as like
I haven't listened. I haven't followed much.
It's not as like, it almost sounds like it's getting more serious.
Really?
It's like all the comic book. They sounded like a living comic book at first, It was just so animated, but now it's kind of like getting a little bit more like less electronic-y, more like progressive metal-y, which is fine, but like that's kind of not what I want to hear, but I get it. Anyways, back to you. Britney Spears, girl groups, growing up. That's what you're into. You want to be in a girl group.
I wanted to be in a girl group.
But eventually you ended up playing metal.
Yeah.
So where did that transition happen?
Well, it was somewhere between the ages of like 13 and 14 that somebody bad seated and came into my life. Don't know what happened there.
Was it a bad boy?
It might have been. And they're like, hey, check out this song. I'm like, okay.
Check out Bring Me the Horizon.
It wasn't even Bring Me the Horizon. It was like Children of Bodom.
Oh, okay.
And Dimmu Borgir and Cradle of Filth. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cool.
Yeah.
I loved like the symphonic keyboards and like the orchestration. Cradle of Filth is like, don't even get me started. My absolute most favorite band.
What's your favorite Cradle of Filth album?
Midian.
Same.
There's no question.
Yeah.
Midian is best.
Yeah. Hands down.
But there's hits on each of their albums.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
But Midian's a fucking masterpiece.
Oh yeah.
I remember getting Midian the day it came out on CD. I remember taking the bus downtown to Ides, and it's so specific. I remember I had to wait for the bus to come back. I remember sitting in the Brugger's Bagels, eating a bagel with my Discman, listening to Midian, just like, fuck yeah. Like 15 years old or however old I was.
Yeah.
Like life changed.
Yeah. I don't remember if it was when Midian came out or when it was, but I remember I saved up enough money to go down to the music store down the road and get my Cradle of Filth CD that I've been wanting for so long. And I went there, I got it, and I felt like my world was complete. Like I was just looking at it, like the packaging is still on it. The feeling you got when you would rip the top off of the packaging of like the shrink wrap around it. You're like, oh, then you can't open it. You're like, why won't this open?
It's the perfect segue into like, I think the difference now, because like we come from that era of like going out of our way to have to get a CD, and that's all we have to listen to. And now you have Spotify and the playlists, and music is so disposable.
It's so disposable.
It feels crazy.
Stupid. It's so. Because it's like you ask yourself, like, why am I doing this sometimes? Because nobody is going to listen to this song in 5 minutes.
Yeah. It's like I come from that era when albums mean the world to me, and I still want to put out albums, but I'm not a dummy. Like I manage all of my projects, and I can like easily see anytime I put out anything that has more than fucking 3 songs on it. The first few tracks have all the streams.
Yeah.
And the end of the album, it's like nobody
touches the rest of them. I know, it's the worst. That's why it's like it's just singles and singles and singles. And it actually kind of sucks because I feel like I've been wanting to put out a body of work for so long, but I refuse to do it until my fan base gets to a certain point because I don't want to see those songs go like nowhere. Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
Because that's what could happen if you don't have like, you know, the right amount of people looking at your stuff.
Yeah, that's really, really depressing to think about. But at the same time, it's like, I know goddamn well that I could probably re-release the second half of an album I put
and
out
nobody
last
would
year.
even know that it came out.
They probably wouldn't.
That's so sad.
Yeah. But I still want to like, I feel like an album is what defines an artist.
Yeah, exactly.
Not like singles.
It's so true. It's if you want to make that like turning point, it's going to be an album, but it's just figuring out when. Timing is everything. And it's so hard to know when the right time is.
You have to be like Drake level for anybody to give a fuck about you putting out like a full body of material. Drake, Kanye.
Yeah.
That
Unless
level.
you have like a cult fan base like Melanie Martinez or
sure.
Halsey and Billie Eilish. Like that's kind of where I'm trying to aim to go is like cult fan bases. And I don't care if I never get signed or whatever. As long as I have a cult fan base, I will be very happy because I know those people will still listen to my music years from now. I don't want to be just thrown on a playlist and then those people don't even care what comes next. I want the people to want to listen to my music, listen to what I have to say, and also like my brand, like want to be a little bit like me. Not to sound weird, but I want to be a good influence for
totally
like young girls or young boys, anybody, you know,
whatever,
girls, boys, cats, dogs.
Yeah.
They're all the same.
Dragons, dinosaurs.
Yeah, I love a good dragon dinosaur.
How dope is it that Billie Eilish is as big as she is?
It's awesome.
It's insane. It blows my mind. I remember hearing some of her stuff and being like, this is really cool, super abstract. This is neat.
She's 13. That's really crazy.
And then like hearing her music, like, you know, here and there and here and there and there and here. I'm like, whoa, this is really blowing up. I can't believe people are resonating with this.
Yeah, no, I know.
It's cool
like the first song, it wasn't the first song, but she had the super slow songs like Ocean Eyes and the really vibey stuff that came out first. And then she did the Bellyache song, which is like kind of like, I felt like introing into pop, but she still wasn't that big yet.
Yeah.
She was still like, you know, people were figuring out who she was. And that's when I got interested in her because I realized how young she was at that point. She was only like 13, I think, at that point. And I was like, whoa, this girl's going to blow up. And she reminded me so much of me. I was like, this girl reminds me of me, and I don't know why. Like her style, something about her is just like something sitting on. I'm like, okay. Now, the lyrics that she's writing and her brand is, I'm happy that it's sitting with people because that's like the avenue that I've been kind of like exploring and going down the past like couple years. And I was always told that it's either too dark for pop and too pop for alternative. She literally helped bridge the gap between alternative and pop because now she's on pop radio and she's on alternative radio.
Yeah.
Like, and now I don't know about how much here, but in LA, alternative radio is like, you're going to hear electronically produced music on there as long as it is darker, has more aggression. The feeling is not like what pop is today. But then also pop is switching and having a little bit more angst in it. Like you have that new Halsey song that's super like rock influence. It reminds me of Tattoo. And Youngblood's on there. Youngblood is straight up like a punk pop artist, you know? Yeah. He's just like cool as fuck. And Billy's on there.
It's really interesting. Actually, I had my friend Abby, who's a radio host on 105.9 The X, she was on the show recently, and we were talking about the evolution of what air quote rock music is.
Yeah.
And she was talking about, we talked a lot about 21 Pilots and Billie Eilish and other artists who, you know, they're starting to put into rotation, but like you hear those same bands on like Kiss FM, which is and like the pop station here in Pittsburgh. Yeah. And I think that we're getting to a point that we haven't had in a while where rock and pop music are starting to become one again.
Yeah.
It's just what rock music is evolving.
Yeah. And it's been needing to evolve for so long, but there's been so many stubborn people that have refused to let it evolve.
But the funny thing is, it really hasn't been that long. If you think about,
I guess you're right.
how rock has existed since 50s, 60s, it's been half a century.
Yeah.
So for people to assume that a genre or a style of music should only be based off of like a 2 or 3 decade time period is crazy when you think about the history of music as a whole over thousands and thousands of years. Of course it's going to evolve.
Yeah, it's inevitable. Like, what else is it's like one of the biggest genres that there is. It's like there's rock, there's pop, and then you have your classical jazz, like, and then you have all your subgenres and country, everything has to evolve at some point, or else it's just going to stay in the back. But yeah, I mean, I feel like whatever's happening right now is like on the right track.
I feel like with the way music is evolving and everybody trying to mix genres together and figure out the next thing, we've actually like almost pushed out all genres. And now you have, I've said this before on the show, but you have music with instruments and music with computers.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 genres now.
I know. That's basically it.
Some people do a little bit of both.
That's basically it. And that's just kind of, I feel like, how it goes. And I like it that way because I like being open and being able to do whatever I want, like be able to, if I want to have like live drums and with some like synth work and stuff, then I want some live drums with some synth work and maybe some 808s. So what? Who cares? I can do that if I want, right? It's cool.
I think that with art, there should never be any rules.
Yeah.
And if you have a vision that you want to do and it's like an accurate representation of your artistic voice or your being, fucking do it.
Yeah.
If anybody tells you that you're wrong, that's like them saying that you're wrong. And if you feel like you're right, then that's a wrong person for you to have in your circle.
Yeah. If someone tells you that you're wrong, then you just got to be like, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Honestly, because they're stuck in some kind of weird,
I imagine that's like a weird position to be in. It's like, are you working for me or am I working for you? What the fuck is this?
Right? How people are crazy.
But at the same time, I guess like sometimes if you're bringing people onto your team to build up a brand, if we want to start talking about that sort of language, I mean, you've brought it up a few times and I understand. It is what it is. But
nerd language.
You're bringing in people to build up this brand, finding the right people that really understand your vision, but can also steer you in the right direction because got to be real. You don't fucking know everything. I don't know everything. There's going to be a lot of shit that you are wrong about. You might think you're 1010% right about something, but you could be fucking wrong.
I could be wrong. And as soon as someone tells me something that I think like it's something that I know that I'm not 100% on, and they tell me like, oh no, it's this way, then I will gladly listen and learn. But if it's something that I feel like, no, this is what I know, and I know that's what works for me because I've tested, trial, everything. But just the other day or yesterday, I met this one guy. I did an interview with him and he was telling me all these different things about, I was asking him questions about like social media and like engagement and like website clicks and all this stuff. And he gave me so much information that I had no idea about. And I've been wanting to learn. Nobody wants to give out their secrets. Like in LA, it's so stupid. Nobody wants to tell you anything because they want to charge you like $5,000 for like to do what cost them literally maybe $50 on the internet. And it's unreal. And this guy just basically was like showing me all these things that I could potentially be doing and like how to get to these websites and do this and that. I'm like, oh my God, thank you.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Shout outs to that dude. Let's clap. Thanks, whoever you were.
He runs the site Jekko. Do you know Jekko? Mm-mm. Okay. It's a Pittsburgh site. So he's a really cool dude. I went to Randy Land yesterday.
Oh, nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not too far from here.
Yeah, it was really cool. I was like, this place is awesome. There's just so much art everywhere.
Yeah. Pittsburgh's like, I imagine like, I've never been to LA and I don't know how much time you spent there, but like, I imagine like these are two completely different worlds, but a lot of people trying to do the same shit, but with like much, I think probably the only The scale is probably just the ego. There's probably a lot less ego.
You
over
literally
here.
read my mind. I was like, a lot of people are trying to do the same stuff. The only difference is that they all have an ego, and that's why they get nowhere. You have to be humble, and you have to know that like you're not the best. And there's gonna be people trying to beat you, people trying to tear you down, but you gotta like.
I feel like you gotta be humble, but like willing to stab a motherfucker.
Yes, exactly. You have to be humble, but you also have to be assertive, because if you're not assertive, then people are gonna walk right over you. And sometimes the people that, you know, are shitty and have the huge ego and they're in the right place at the right time, they are going to like get there, because that's just what happens.
Yeah.
Some shitty people get places where good people should be, but that's life.
I feel like, but it's like, you know, do you really want, I feel like a lot of shitty people step over genuine people to just link up with other shitty people to live in their shitty circle of just shittiness.
Yeah.
And
because
it's like,
in the end, like the shitty people won't, there's never going to be longevity with those kind of people.
I feel they all just end up shitting on each other, right?
Yeah, exactly. Nobody's going to end up happy or feeling good in the end. Just going to be a temporary little Band-Aid of happiness.
Do we think that's how it is, or do we tell ourselves that to make us feel better? I mean, I feel like...
I think that it is. I'm going to say that it is.
I assume that it is too. I think that there's this question. I do a lot of listener questions for the show, and maybe we'll get into some in a bit, depending on where our time is now. We're about 36 minutes in, so we're doing pretty good. But one question that a lot of people have asked, so I guess we'll be answering several listener questions right now. Everybody that's asked this, a lot of people ask what my definition of success is. Do you want me to answer this before you answer it? But we can maybe talk about this together. Okay. What we define success as.
Well, to me, success is doing what you set out to do, and whether it changes or not, finding that place that makes you happy. And because in the end, people who see you happy are going to like, you know, if they don't want to see you succeed, but if they see you happy, they're just gonna be like, oh shit, she's doing good.
Sure.
Success is doing good. And no matter what it is, like you don't have to have like $1 bajillion, even though it would be nice to be able to make money from your music or whatever it is that you want to be successful at. But if you've learned your craft, you feel good and confident in what you're doing, you've accomplished some goals, you've put yourself in a place where you know that this is what you want to do. And for me, it's for the rest of my life. But a lot of people want a bunch of different successes. You know, they want to accomplish one thing, say they've had success in this, and then move on to the next.
So they're 20 different things on their Instagram bio, like we talked about, right?
See, those ones, I feel like they haven't accomplished their like major, like they haven't become fully successful at it. I think they're just like dabbling.
They're TGI food menus. I'm telling you, Olive Garden AF.
They're very Olive Garden. Cheesecake Factory.
Cheesecake Factory. Ugh. To piggyback on your statements of success and, you know, doing what you set out to do, I think a lot of people get distracted by success because they let other people's idea of success bleed into them. Like a lot of people might tell you what you should be doing. And then all of a sudden what you originally wanted to do is swayed by the opinion of somebody else. But like, and then you get convinced and you start going down that path and you realize this isn't even what I fucking wanted.
Yes. You have no idea. Literally how many times I've heard from either some people in my family, and a couple other people that like I've worked with before, and they have said that, you know, maybe it doesn't matter if music isn't like, you know, as an artist isn't what you end up doing, but if you do something in music, you should still be happy. I'm like, okay, listen, when I was 15, I decided this was what I was doing for the rest of my life. I played my first show and I knew that second I got off the stage, I was like, there's no way I'm ever feeling like that again from anything. And I haven't. Nothing has given me that feeling besides playing music. And, I know that that's what I want to do and that's what I'm going to do. And I've always told myself that. I was like, there's no way I'm leaving this earth without being successful in music. And yeah, people would be like, you had so much success in your band and this and that. Well, guess what? I didn't feel like that was completely me.
You were one 1/5 or 1/6.
1/5, 1/6.
Yeah.
But also it was me joining other people's projects, you know? It was never something that I built that I could feel like it was mine.
Yeah.
And that's what I really, really wanted when I started doing my own project, was I wanted something to call mine that I felt like was a full, it completely embodied me, you know? And that's what I'm setting out to do. And everybody keeps, not everybody, but certain people keep saying, like, you know, whatever path you go on, you'll end up finding like happiness and success and this and that. And I'm like, it's gonna be in music, being an artist. Sorry, guys.
Sure.
It's not going to be any other way, because that's what I know. I'm not trying to be stubborn or anything, but I feel like I'm the kind of person that when I have a goal, I follow it until I reach it. And then I find another goal in that same, you know, same area.
Yeah.
I'm not going to completely go off track and I don't know.
Yeah. Not in every circumstance, but I think a lot of it has to do with just in terms of success. A lot of it has to do with making sure that like your basics are taken care of, you know, making sure that you're in a reasonably healthy environment mentally, so you could create from a place of comfort where you feel like you can genuinely be yourself. Because if you're stuck in a situation where either your living situation sucks or the people around you suck, I mean, sometimes that can inspire good art, but it's really hard to enact on it and get it like off the ground if you have a bunch of negativity around you.
It's gonna hold you back for sure. Like I've gone through that a lot over the past couple years, actually. And it helped me write. Like, it helped me write great music, but I don't know how many like opportunities could have came in that time that I just refused to maybe see or let happen, because I had so much negative energy around me that I didn't know where to go. I couldn't figure anything out besides just writing about the negative stuff. And that kind of puts you just in one little box when you should not be just in one little box.
Fuck, if you are your art, and all your art is negativity, and you're living in this sea of negativity, and like, you know, you're practicing material that's revolved around all this negative shit, what do you think's gonna happen? I think it's like awesome to like turn negative things into art and to be able to let go. But it's very, very easy to actually not let go by writing a song about something. And it's like that balance. It's really hard. Like I have plenty of songs that I've written that I just refuse to perform and do now, because I mean, it was a way to get something off my chest, but it's not something that I want to carry with me all these years later.
Exactly. I feel bad for the people who write songs like that and then that becomes their hit song. And they're like, why do I gotta keep living this life?
Sure.
I think 21 Pilots said something, I can't remember what it was. They performed and they didn't perform a song that all the fans loved or something. I wish I could remember exactly the story. So sorry, everybody, if I get this wrong. And their fans were freaking out, or they changed the lyrics to one of their songs, to one of their big songs, because they hated what it meant to them.
Okay.
And all the fans were so mad, and they were like, why'd you change the lyrics? And he was like, because I don't feel like that anymore, and I don't want to sing about it. That's it. I don't want to sing that anymore.
21 Pilots fascinates me in terms of just how big they are. The past few times they've been here, they've sold out the huge arenas here. And they're a genreless band. Yeah. On their Wikipedia page, it says they're an American music duo. There's no genre attached to it. Yeah. And I think that's fucking awesome.
No, it's great.
But there's so many things that interest me about that band. And I'm not going to say never. If it ever happened that I could talk with them, it'd be great. But I would love to sit down and talk with them about that transition of building the brand that is 21 Pilots and the artistic sacrifices that they've had to make to their music to get to like strike at that pop audience. Yeah. Because like them live versus their studio they're two different beasts. Like their live stuff, it's like there's all this raw energy, so much more live instrumentation. Yeah. It's fucking awesome. Yeah. I prefer their live stuff over the studio stuff.
Did you know that one song that was on their last album that had like the complete metal breakdown at the end of it? Oh my God. I love this song. And it is like, I'm like, oh yes, thank God they're screaming. And like, there's like a breakdown at the end. And I'm like, this is so cool. But it didn't end up being like one of the big songs.
There's one song that's like, was it Heavy Dirty Soul? Maybe?
No.
Because I know on that song, when I've seen them perform that live, the end gets it sounds kind of breakdowny and he's yelling a bit. It's heavier, but like the rest of the track has kind of like a funk element to it.
Yeah, no, it's
not that one?
It's not that one. I'll tell you right now because I used to listen to it all the time.
Yeah. Shout outs to 21 Pilots. They're such an interesting band for me in this time frame. And anytime I see like a preteen or younger kid wearing a 21 Pilots shirt, I'm like, word, cool. I probably would have fucking liked that band too. They're like the Linkin Park of modern the modern era.
It was Jumpsuit.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The very, very end. I don't know if they like cut it. If it was ever on radio here, they probably cut the end out or something.
Yeah. I know that song. Yeah. I think that's off their newest album.
Yeah, their newest album.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I do know that song. Yeah.
I was like, thank God somebody's doing this. Oh, and then Bring Me the Horizon did the song with Danny Filth. Like, that's my dream goal.
Yeah, I thought that was cute.
I thought it was adorable. I thought it was so cute. I was like, he's probably like a grandpa right now, and he's in his makeup and his big shoes. I love him.
I love watching interviews with Danny Filth because he just does not give a shit anymore, and he's so funny.
I know.
He's such a nerd.
I know.
And like when I was younger, I thought he was like such a frightening, intense dude.
I was obsessed with him. I thought he was like the hottest thing ever. I don't know what was going on, but like I was like,
he's like the height of this cup.
Yeah, he's literally this tall. He's so miniature.
I remember I saw Cradle of Filth at Club Laga like in high school years and years ago. It was Cradle of Filth, Typo Negative, and Moonspell.
Oh, Moonspell and Typo Negative.
So it was there was a lot of excuse my euphemism, but dripping fishnets in the room, probably male and female, to be completely honest with you. But I remember at the time, anytime like there was all these people like loading gear in and out, just like road cases and stuff. Mm-hmm. Every time we saw a tiny road case, we're like, Danny Filson there, just joking.
He's gonna pop out like a cake.
Uh-huh. That's a good Danny Filth impersonation. But yeah,
I've been practicing.
Yeah, they're fucking awesome, and I think it's cool that there's just to see younger bands embracing that stuff and getting people involved, and it's cool to see like Danny Filth on like whatever, like Fuse TV and whatever other bullshit, just doing like silly interviews. Yeah, I watched there was like an interview about the Jesus is a cunt shirt. They did like a whole thing about. I think the history of that, and I thought it was super cool.
Iggy Azalea wore it, and people were like freaking out over it. And I was like, first of all, I was like, a
lot of people don't like her.
I know.
She just continues to piss people off in one way or another.
And I'm not quite sure why. Do we know why? I don't know. I'm not sure. I guess people just don't like her.
Yeah, I mean, she said some pretty ignorant shit, but I feel like everybody says ignorant stuff.
Yeah. I think that the internet is a crazy place. They find someone to pick on, and that's who they pick on. And there's no end to it. You never get over it.
I remember she was supposed to play here a few years ago for Pride, and she ended up getting booted off the bill because I guess she had posted something that was like homophobic, supposedly. Oh. But I don't think it was like actually homophobic. I think it was just her being a brat towards somebody. So it came off wrong. Yeah. I just think she's a brat, which is
she
fine.
Probably is. I think she was like a model or something before she was rapper.
Well, I think she's still kind of a model because I know she's like trying to sell like nutrient bars and shit on her fucking Instagram.
Isn't everybody though?
I guess so.
With a following, I'll give you $1 million to sell this nutrient bar. Yeah. Okay.
I feel bad because like I liked a lot of her early material. I just liked how like raunchy and no fucks given it was. But like I don't really keep up with it anymore now. It's just not for me.
Me either. Now the Cardi's in the house. I don't think anybody cares about anybody anymore.
Cardi B seems like a nice person.
She does, doesn't she?
Yeah,
she seems like a wholesome mom, but also the wholesome mom that is like
totally, yeah.
This is like also has a stripper pole in her room, like that. I'm gonna make you cookies, but also I'm gonna go strip in my room real quick. I feel like Cardi B.
Yeah, like I just enjoy again. Like I watch a lot of interviews with people. Just, I don't know why. It just happens. Whenever I find out about an artist, it's not so much I want to listen to their music. I'll check it out a bit, but I want to know who they are as a person.
Yeah.
I'm just so behind the scenes. Maybe that's a product of me doing this podcast and trying to talk to people. I just get to know people, because I feel like if I can understand where somebody's coming from personally, it'll make me understand and appreciate their music a little bit more.
Yeah, no, that's true. And I wish more people were like that, because I feel like they can gain more of a connection with somebody by watching that. I used to always watch interviews of bands that I liked, because I felt like I knew them more, like especially video interviews and stuff. It was like one of my favorite things to do was just like always looking them up, being like, oh yes, I feel like this person's talking to me, but they're not. This band is not talking to me at all, but I'm learning so much new stuff about them.
And I feel like with all of the content that we get shoveled down our fucking throats on an hourly basis now, the only real way for me personally to pick out like who I want to gravitate towards is like, who can I actually connect with personally? Who can I find out more about? You know, that and seeing bands live.
Yeah.
Which that comes a lot more from the metal background, because the past decade of heavy metal has become really interesting in terms of, you know, studio recordings versus performing live. You know what I mean? Everybody has there's some magic now, thanks to, you know, all this fancy technology here. You know what I mean?
There really is.
The shittiest drummer, you know, they can just fucking
all of a sudden
Control A quantize and they sound like a fucking beast.
I know.
It's scary.
It's crazy. It really is. And like just even in...
There's honestly more production that goes into modern metal than a lot of pop.
Oh, it's 100%. I say this all the time. I'm like, I'm so glad that I'm not recording or like in a room where we're making metal music, because it is like, I mean, the amount that goes into it, and I produce a lot of my own music or like start out the productions, and I'm like, there's already so much, and I can only imagine having to go in on every little thing. The guitars are always, they can't be like messy or dirty. They have to be so clean,
everything has to be perfect now,
perfectly lined up. Like, you can get away with like a little bit of grunge and like, you know, off timing a little bit with guitars and like rock music or alternative, because that's the sound that you want, you know?
In metal, everybody wants it to be perfect.
Yeah.
And I love joking with my friends that like metal, that like, you know, like progressive death metal. And I'm like, oh, so you like electronic music?
Yeah.
And they're like, what are you talking about?
Because it literally sounds like you're
listening to distorted techno, basically, is what you're listening to. Like, you know, sir, somebody kind of played that, but there's so much post-processing and effects and production. It's electronic music. You're listening to techno.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like nothing against like any of those bands. I think they do some really cool, interesting stuff. But when I listen to it,
hats off to you guys for putting in all the time and effort in, and like especially the producers doing it. Like, holy cow.
Yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into that stuff.
Yeah. Oh.
And some of those bands can pull it off live. Some of them can't. It's fine.
That's why they have tracks.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Jesus Christ, don't even.
That's why they got tracks.
Bro, we fucking played with this fucking band that I'm not going to fucking name. It doesn't matter, but I'm not, whatever. I'll just be civil. And they were like, it was one of those things where like, we're the shitty local band opening up for whoever. And they were just such fucking dicks to us.
Yeah.
And then they fucking get on stage and it's just like, it's all backtrack. And I'm like, why the fuck are you worried about getting your gear set up on stage on time if it's all running through the fucking backtracks anyways? Fucking nerds.
Oh my God. I just don't understand. Sometimes I just wish someone can go over and just press the space bar real quick and stop it. And remember, like,
Milli Vanillium.
What just happened?
Sure.
It's like, oh my God. The people, I don't know. Everybody wants to be in a band without knowing how to play an instrument. That's the problem. Learn your instrument. You can't fast forward. Like,
I think there's a combination of that. And also, I think it's honestly a huge part of it is fans. I'm not talking about people that are musicians, just people that are genuine fans.
Yeah.
Their expectation level has gone up so high that if you as a live band, if you're not performing something that is 110% what the fan knows, they're going to revolt, like 21 Pilots trying to change a lyric.
Yeah.
Or like a drummer that might be a little bit off, or a singer that might be a little out of key. Like, when we were younger, it didn't matter.
It didn't matter, yeah.
Like fucking watch a Deftones live video. Not the best live band in the world. Chino cannot sing live. Love you, dude. But it's like, but people of that era get it because it's fine.
It's okay.
But
it's
now with like younger bands and younger fans, if it's not
exactly
1000%
like it,
accurate,
they're like,
oh, fuck this.
Yeah. Yeah. Nope. I get it. There's this one artist called Black Bear, and he actually does the opposite. He actually flips his songs to be like rock-ish for his live show, but he does it through the entire set. So it's like he kind of made like this big production of it, and his fans actually like, I think I saw a little bit of backlash of people being like, why didn't you play Do Re Mi the way I like it? And like,
I think when it comes, I think it's a matter of if you come out the gate presenting yourself in a certain way, I think it's fine because you'll build a fan base based off of what you're doing.
Yeah.
But if you come out the gate one certain way and then one day you flip it, people are going to be like, what the fuck is this? It's almost kind of like you in your position where like you're coming from a metal band going, it's a pop. People are like, what is this?
Yeah, exactly.
It makes it really complicated.
I wish everybody had an open mind.
Me too.
It would be nice.
Yeah.
Would be nice. Wouldn't that be nice if everyone had an open mind?
That was like a Blue's Clues moment or what was one of those other shows? Maybe Barney,
Sesame Street.
Yeah.
One of those. I'm like, I'm weird. Am I weird?
Not really.
Okay, cool.
Honestly, to be completely transparent with you, this is one of the easiest conversations I've had in a while.
Yes. Probably because you're weird too.
Probably. Yeah, that's probably 1010% accurate. So we're talking about performing live and everything, and I'm curious about you and the solo stuff. Have you performed live at all, or is that just like something that you're still figuring out how you want to do that?
Yeah, so I did like a live studio-esque type video for YouTube when I first put out my first song, and since then it was on the back burner for a minute, and then over the last like 5-6 months, I've been putting together like how I want my live show to be, a band, and really trying to get all my ducks in a row to be able to perform live, because I've been like itching to get out there on the stage again. Like I said, the first time I went on stage, I knew that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to play music. Like I love it. It's just in my blood, and it needs to happen like ASAP. The only roadblocks that have been in the way is that the people that I have for like drums and guitar and in LA, they also have other projects. So it's been difficult to be able to get together because they're either on tour, one's on tour and then the other one's on tour. And then it's like leaves a tiny bit of space for us to figure things out because I'm not their top priority.
Yeah.
So I need to really I've been trying to reanalyze how I want to do this and maybe just keep them for some kind of like when it comes to like touring and stuff. And if I have to hire musicians, hopefully they'll cost like 5 pennies because that's all I got.
Sure.
And then that's what I'm gonna have to do. But I'm thinking about having an East Coast band and a West Coast band because I know that I can start playing here in Pittsburgh. And there's places in LA that I've been offered to play multiple times, but I have had to turn down. And it's really upsetting because those are opportunities that are literally knocking at my door. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I can't right now. And I mean, I would love to go up there and just play me with a track, but I wouldn't, because then I feel like right. That's not what I want people to see. Let's say somebody from a label or from Spotify is there that one night and that's what they see. No. First impression of my live show is not going to be like that. You know what I mean? It has to be what I want it to be and what I feel like is right. Because I'm not going to do that backtracking again and like be like, oh man, I did things that I felt like I wasn't supposed to at that moment. And now I got to go back and then like rebrand my live show basically.
Yeah.
You know?
It's really hard transitioning from being in a band to doing something solo in getting people to play music that they didn't necessarily write and all those things. I mean, that's something that I juggled with that for a while because with my Sykes project, I do have a band now.
Yeah.
And I didn't for a long time, but like finding the right people and getting them together. But I still occasionally will play solo shows. I just played a solo show on Friday.
Yeah.
And it feels weird. It doesn't feel like it's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because like the live show is like, I have the band, I got projections, lights, I did the whole fucking stupid thing, all that nonsense. But like, you need to, like, I feel like I caught myself relying too much on everybody else.
Yeah.
And losing sight of like, okay, like, it's not about me, but it is about me.
Yeah.
Like, if I can't perform these songs without a band, without the lights, without the projector, nobody's going to give a fuck. It's like almost like you need to be able to like have that confidence to be like naked enough in a way to like do it, even if you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I've been like trying to juggle that because
I see that.
I start relying too much on everybody else. And then when we're performing,
then you kinda
I'm
get held
thinking
back.
about what everybody else is doing. I'm not thinking about what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That is really true. That's a good point I should be thinking about, because I could totally see, like I've already seen it so far, feeling like I'm getting held back. But if I have, let's say I have other musicians, where am I to think that I'm not going to get held back again? You know what I mean? So
I think
it might be a good avenue to explore both in that aspect.
I would say, I mean, granted, in full disclosure, like, nothing remarkably phenomenal has ever happened for me. So taking advice from me is a little silly. But what I would say, just given my experience, is that I think it's best to do both.
Yeah.
Because it just keeps your options open and it makes you confident to be able to take any opportunity that you can. And that's an advantage that you do have as a solo artist versus being in a band.
Yeah.
Because if there's something where, you get an opportunity to go to fucking, I don't know, Seattle or some shit, and you can't fucking fly out other band members, but you know that like, oh, okay, I have 30 minutes that I can perform myself, whether in like, you have it set up. Like I remember seeing fucking MIA at Stage AE. It was just her and a DJ.
Yeah.
And like some cool lights. And she just had enough stage presence that you didn't think once about the fact that there wasn't else there.
Yeah, that's what
she could fucking hold it down.
Yeah, that's what's kind of spinning in my brain right now. I was like, okay, so what it should be is, why care about what's backing me? If I'm going to be just me up there for certain times, and maybe sometimes I'll have my band, no matter what, I need to be the main focus. So I have to be the one providing the entertainment and the one providing like what is going to make me and set me apart from everybody else.
Yeah.
It's not going to be my band. It's going to be me.
Yeah.
And whether if it's I do it by myself and a DJ, or if I do it with me and a band, it's still going to be the same. It's just going to be like, maybe a different feeling with the band, but it should still not take away from who I am as a performer.
Yeah, you just have to be able to be confident in your skin at that moment. I remember I played a solo show, doing my rippity raps, and it was with some other younger artists, so some people in like their early 20s.
Yeah.
And this dude came up to me after the set, was all like, yo, that was fucking awesome, blah, 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 very kind. And I was like, yo, he's asking me about like myself and what I do. And I was like, yeah, like, I don't know, I've been rapping for fucking 35 fucking years, blah, 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 here. And maybe sometimes see me with the band, because I said like, I like it more with the band.
Yeah.
And he was pretty much just like, that's cool. Like, I just want to see you. Like, I don't care about the band. Like, if this thing is your thing, don't sweat the band, because it's about you.
Yeah.
And this was coming from like some 20-year-old kid. And it was just like, well, I guess maybe you're right in a sense. You know what I mean? Like, if you are somebody that's interested in, solo pop artists, solo hip hop artists, the stuff in the background's nice. But it's, I mean, if you know what the fuck you're doing and you have that extra stuff, it's cool. But if you're relying on that stuff behind you, I feel like it's all gonna fall flat.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. And I'm glad that you helped me have that realization, because that makes me feel really excited.
I'm glad you're excited.
I'm ready. I want those boots.
So you have a lot of stuff that's already available on the internet that people could check out. You have videos on YouTube. I imagine music on Spotify. You released a single recently, I Wanna?
Yes, it's called I Wanna. And that one is like very, it reminds me a lot of Britney Spears because of the harmonies, but it still has like the dark influence to it. So that one's like one of my faves. But yeah, that one, I Wanna is out. And right before that, I put out a song called Paranoid. And that one was like my transition out of feeling extremely depressed and like trying to get help for myself and kind of letting everyone know. It was like my confession. And then after that, it's really funny because it kind of just goes to show how my emotions are. It was like I went from Paranoid, which was a very depressing song, to I Wanna, which is a very kind of like more upbeat pop song within like a month and a half. I'm like, well, if you want to know me, there you go. That's me.
I feel like that's a really cool thing about modern music now is that those dynamic shifts are becoming more accepting. Like people are more accepting of it. And I feel like it's just really human.
Yeah.
Of an artist to be like, hey, I have a song that sounds like this and a song that sounds like this.
Yeah. I mean,
it's still me.
Exactly. I sat on I Wanna for a year and a half. I didn't put it out because I didn't feel emotionally connected enough to put it out. I'm not going to talk about it or be happy about the release if I didn't feel like it was what I was going through at that moment, or like not necessarily going through, but able to channel that emotion when I was in such like a depressed, like sad place for so long that song just kind of just was floating. And then finally I felt like it was time that it could come out. Had all these other great songs, but they're a little depressing. I didn't want to put it out right then because I'm like, I don't feel like that right now, When it's time for those to come out and I can feel like I can shed light on it and the situation and be able to connect with people on it, then I'll do that. But right now I'm going to want to connect with people on what I actually feel.
Yeah.
So I got some songs coming out in September and most likely like October or November. And I'm filming a music video like next week and a lot of stuff coming.
You have some really cool music videos.
Thank
Everything
you.
looks super killer on YouTube.
Thank
I definitely
you.
highly encourage everybody out there to check out the stuff.
Thanks.
For sure.
Yeah.
Check it out on Spotify.
I got my own camera and was like, that's whenever I had like that realization that I can't like be paying other people to not even contribute to what they like see my project as, So got my own camera. My roommate was helping me film my videos and I would edit them and there they were. Here they are.
Hell yeah. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of them. I like them.
Awesome. And not wrapping up the conversation yet because are you in a rush to go anywhere? Are you
Actually,
good?
Well, I'm playing, I'm going to be on the X tonight.
You're on the X tonight?
2 songs.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Shout outs. What time's that happening?
It starts at 8. I don't know what time I'm playing.
It's 7:26.
Okay, cool. So we got time.
You got some time.
I'm being glued to that radio station.
So we got a little bit of time.
We got a little bit of time
because I do want to fuck around and have a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
And get into a little bit of fun stuff. Do you need any more beer? Do you want any more beer?
I'm still drinking this one. You know what's funny about IPA? This is an IPA, right?
Yeah.
Makes my mouth so dry. You know what? I said whenever we got here, I'm very dehydrated every day.
I told you, I was like, I don't think the beer is going to help.
I need to chase my beer with water.
Fair enough. Would you mind handing me the growler, my friend?
Sure.
Because I'm going to refill because I'm a piece of shit. And that's the one. That's the one.
Big boy.
Yeah. Hey, if you're going to do something, fucking do it right. So I know that right now you haven't played in a band in a little while. And you haven't been playing any technical live shows for a little while. And I don't even imagine that right now you're doing any proper band rehearsals or anything. Like you're kind of in between. Mm-hmm. So this question might fall a little flat, but I'm curious, Alaena. We'll say after a show, after a practice, where are you going to get some food? Do you got a spot?
Okay. Well, here's the thing. I love In-N-Out Burger.
Okay.
In-N-Out Burger is so...
It's so West Coast of you to say.
So good. You don't even know what you're missing if you are in the East Coast. It's like, I don't know. First time I got it, I was like, why does everybody care about this? But then you have it a second time and you're like, oh, it's just like smoking weed. The first time you're like, why does everybody care about this? And then the second time you're like, oh, that's why.
For sure. So In-N-Out is the spot.
In-N-Out is the spot. And really, that's kind of like, if I'm going to go anywhere late at night over there in that region, it's going to be In-N-Out.
What about East Coast?
East Coast, I try and be healthy.
Yeah.
And In-N-Out isn't healthy, but it's my one exception. So I won't go to McDonald's because the only thing I eat at McDonald's is 2 cheeseburger meal with no meat. So
yeah,
it gets a little boring.
Sure.
It's just cheese and bread.
Yeah.
And ketchup.
So do you when you're In-N-Out, do you do the meat at In-N-Out?
No, I get a grilled cheese.
Oh.
They have grilled cheese and it's basically the In-N-Out burger without the meat. But there's lettuce, there's special sauce on it. They toast it nice and toasty, so the bun's toasted. It's so good.
So are you like a strict vegetarian?
No, I eat
try.
chicken and turkey and fish.
Gotcha.
That's it.
Cool. So no beef.
No beef.
You don't fuck with the beef?
No beef.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long's that been?
Since I was like forever.
Oh,
Because
yeah?
my mom would never really, when I was little, I'd eat steak because my dad would make it. But then my mom she never ate like red meat. So she would only cook chicken, turkey, fish. And then I just kind of stuck with it.
I haven't had beef or chicken or turkey or almost anything in probably like 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So are you vegetarian or vegan?
I do eat, I probably eat more fish than cheese.
Okay.
I still do eat fish from time to time.
Yeah.
Like sushi is just like...
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
You can't like not have
pry
sushi.
it from my cold dead hands, you vegetarian motherfuckers.
I love sushi. But though, if there's a sushi spot open at night, going there straight up.
Sure. I think with me, I find that I don't like when food makes me tired.
Yeah, I hate it.
And a lot of dairy tends to make me tired.
Is that what it does?
Yeah.
Is that what's making me tired?
Probably, bro.
I love cheese.
Yeah, cheese is
I don't
great.
drink milk.
Yeah.
I've only been drinking like almond milk and soy milk since like, I don't know, since I was like 15.
Yeah, I don't...
But
yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like a lot of people know I fucking love my pizza. You know, like cheese has its times, but you don't need to have fucking cheese on everything. It's so unnecessary.
It is really ridiculous. And I did like the soy cheese for a while, but then I had a taste of a nice, tasty real cheese and I never turned back.
I feel like if it's not like a grilled cheese, where like cheese is a main ingredient, so you need that, or pizza. There's a lot of things that you can get without cheese, and I can almost guarantee you're not going to really notice the difference.
I know. It's the same thing. I feel like I never hope nobody hates me, but I eat ketchup with everything. And
You're Pittsburgh at heart.
I know. But then I would start going places and being like, or like at a friend's house, we're eating eggs or mac and cheese, and I'm like, can I have ketchup? They're like, we don't have ketchup. And I'm like, okay. So I have to eat it without it. I'm like, oh, wait a second. This is still good. I can eat eggs without ketchup or mac and cheese without ketchup, but it's so good with ketchup.
Yeah.
Do you eat mac and cheese with ketchup?
I like mac and cheese with ketchup.
Everybody looks at me like I'm insane when I say that.
I like
Spirals mac and cheese.
I fuck with Spirals. Or, like a dinosaur shaped mac and cheese.
Yep.
Like the more childish it is, the better.
Yeah.
My only beef though is if you get the shaped mac and cheese, there's not as much in the fucking box as the normal.
Because it takes up so much space. I know.
It's fucking bullshit.
And there's usually holes in it. So really, you're not getting as much noodle.
No. Not at all.
And another thing is the cheese has to soak into the noodle. So what is it soaking into? Like this little like outline.
Yeah, it is a little.
It's not as great, but if you mix it with ketchup, it's fine.
It's a little bit of a gimmick.
Yeah.
But I do also like, the only thing I like a little bit more on mac and cheese than ketchup would be barbecue sauce.
Really?
Yeah.
I used to have an obsession with A1 sauce.
A1's good,
while.
but like you could put A1 on anything and it just tastes like A1.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter what it is.
No, it's like that's A1.
Yeah.
And I like it.
Yeah, it's a dominating flavor, but I do fuck with it.
Yeah, I'm all about it. No ketchup, I'll take the A1.
To be completely honest, one of the things that made it really easy for me to stop eating meat was that I'm so condiment heavy that most of the shit that I eat just tastes like the condiments that I eat versus like, so it's so easy for me to be like, oh, like, is this a real burger versus like, some fucking impossible fake burger? It doesn't fucking matter. I'm putting A1 on the motherfucker anyways.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's what one time, long time ago when I was a dummy, I was doing a cleanse and I was like, okay, so this cleanse, you only drink this liquid and then you only eat vegetables. And I was like, okay. So I'd get my vegetables. I'm like, I'm so hungry. These vegetables taste so bad by themselves. Like you have to eat them raw. So I just get a bunch of ketchup and just smother it in ketchup and eat like cauliflower, ketchup, carrots, ketchup, broccoli, ketchup. It's the only way I would eat it. It's true.
Yeah.
And salsa. If I ran out of ketchup, I had to use salsa. Like something with some kind of like acidic taste in it there was no way I was eating it. Otherwise, I probably wasn't good for a cleanse.
You're so fucking Pittsburgh.
I know.
It's never going to escape you.
I had to break the fries on a salad situation.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
It took a while because no one will put fries on my salad in California. And I'm like, what do you not understand? I want fries on my salad.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And then I'd have to end up buying a side of fries to put on my salad. And it just ends up I'm having a $20 salad. And I'm like, okay, I just got to quit this habit.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Have you had any fry salad since you've been home?
I haven't. And I need one with melted cheese on top and chicken. Where do I get it?
Park? I don't fucking know.
Park? There's this one
place for smiles, motherfucker.
There's, you know what? Another thing, Eaton Park. I wish there was Eaton Park. There's a place in LA that is like kind of like Eaton Park because it's a soup and salad bar, but it is not Eaton Park. You go to Eaton Park, you get the little muffins, you get breakfast, kind of breakfast, and then you also get lunch. And if you come right at the right time, you could have breakfast and lunch.
Hell yeah.
At the switchover.
The changeover? Hell yeah.
The changeover is so quick. Sometimes it's only like 30 minutes and you're like, oh, I'm still here, so maybe I'll go up and get a soup before I go.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And they said no sharing plates, but you'll always share the plates. Just get a little one. They're going to know now.
If you're nice to the server, they don't care.
Yeah. I was really going to care you're sharing a $4 plate.
No, Cynthia's not going to mind that much.
No, she's not.
Just give her a nice tip.
She's going to
She'll
bring
be cool.
you a nice smiley cookie anyways.
Yeah, just be nice to Cynthia. Give her a nice tip.
Yeah.
She'll take care of you. She doesn't give a shit what you're doing.
Take all the plates. I don't care. Whatever. Yeah, I love Eaton Park. It's definitely one of my faves here, which I haven't gone since I've been home, and I really need to. That's where I should have gone today. I went to eat today, and I didn't go to Eaton Park.
Where'd you go?
I went to this place called like Fire Pit.
Okay.
It's in Irwin.
Okay.
That's where I'm from.
Yeah.
So
how was it?
It was good.
Yeah.
It was fancier though. Like they had a salad that was grilled on a wood fire pit of some sort. So cool. I was like, I could have had my salad at Eaton Park and also had one of those little pink muffins and like the mystery jello.
What
and like
is that pink in the muffin?
I don't know, but it's so good.
What is that? Yo, out there. If you know what the pink is, I know exactly what the fuck you're talking about. That's so funny. If you know what the pink is in them fucking Eaton Park muffins, let me know. If you work at Eaton Park, if your fucking uncle franchises one, fucking let me know what the fuck.
Tell us.
Tell us what the pink is.
I'm not going to steal the recipe. Dehydrated. I'm not. And like my secret mask comes off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is his name in SpongeBob that always wants to steal Plankton?
Yeah.
Is it Plankton? He always wants to steal the secret recipe. And I'm like secretly Plankton. I don't want it. I'm not going to steal the secret recipe for the pink muffins. I just want to know.
Just let us know what it is.
Yeah.
All right.
That and also like the mystery it's always next to the jello and the cottage cheese and it's usually colored and you can dip your fruit in it.
Oh, yeah.
It's like sometimes it's green, sometimes it's pink, and sometimes it's brown.
Yeah.
And it's not pudding, it's something else.
Yeah.
I never know what it is, but I eat it. I dip my fruit in it.
Yeah, it's like some kind of weird cream cheese, maybe.
I don't know. It's something.
I don't know.
But first time I went on tour, this is probably really Pittsburgh too. I went to a gas station. I'm like, where's the Jello molds with like the little like pieces of stuff inside of it? Like this stuff, it's multicolored. It's like pink, green, orange.
Yeah.
And I was like, where are they? And I finally found a place that had them, and I took it back and I was eating it in the van, and they're like, you are disgusting. I'm like, what are you talking about? Have you tried this? This is so good. It's delicious. I'm like, I could go for one right now, actually. Whatever they are, wherever they are. I don't even know where they are.
Yeah,
now.
I hope you fucking find a Jello mold. I hope you go to Eaton Park. I hope that you fucking do all that. You gotta do all that shit.
I got like,
I'm gonna fucking follow up with you in a couple of days.
I got like 2.5 weeks. So
if you haven't gone to fucking Eaton Park and gotten
I'm in trouble.
I'm gonna fucking drag you out your house and take you to fucking Eaton Park and get you some fucking shitty chicken salad with fucking fries. Chicken salad with fries and cheese. All right, last question. Salad dressing of choice.
Caesar.
Good choice.
I like Caesar, but ranch is good on everything but salad. So,
bro, speaking of Eaton Park, I remember going to Eaton Park and I've seen motherfuckers, like the most toxic looking people you've ever seen, just like plate of iceberg, croutons, ranch. That's it. That's their fucking salad. And
that's my mom.
That plate is like 7/8 ranch. The other 1/8 is just like some lettuce and a couple croutons.
It's some lettuce, more croutons.
It's fucking
and
wild.
Then ranch.
These are like people that look like if you left a can of Mountain Dew out for a week and then peeked inside it, like they would be in there. Like, hello, it's me.
I don't know how I got in here.
Yeah. So there should be, there's like people of Walmart.com. There should be a people of Eaton Park.
Oh yeah. There really needs to be somebody.
But all the love in the world to Eaton Park though. But I mean, there are some people that
there's questionables.
Like most good things, like beer, you can have too much. There is too much Eaton Park.
Yes, absolutely.
And probably too much In-N-Out.
Yeah, no.
And maybe to bring this conversation full circle, maybe sometimes there's being too much of an artist and forgetting who you are as a person.
Look at that. That's such a beautiful, beautiful ending.
Yeah, you got to remember who you are. Don't forget it.
Always remember who you are. And don't be afraid to be who you are, because that is like number one rule. I've tried to change myself at one point in my life, and because I wanted to fit in and be like everybody else. And guess what? I came right back to this because this is where I feel confident, comfortable. I went to a deep, dark place trying to be like people that I wasn't. And I'm so happy that I'm back to who I actually am. And don't sidetrack yourself, because people see beauty in truth. And that's just what the world needs. God, this ended up being so cheesy.
Yo, it's all good. And that's what this is. Podcasts are corny as fuck, to be completely honest. And I feel like if you're not gonna fucking say some shit from the heart, what's the fucking point?
Exactly. You gotta tell it how it is.
Hell yeah, you got to.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah. So before I do my outro, I mean, we already mentioned that, you have shit on YouTube and stuff like that, but where can specifically people find you?
Okay. Social media. She is Alaena. ALAENA. And then everything on YouTube, Spotify is just Alaena. There's no just. It's ALAENA. Alaena.
Yeah.
It's Alaena.
Look for the exciting colored hair.
Yes.
It may be pink,
it's
it may be yellow,
changing.
It may be another color. Who knows?
I just put this little skunk streak in it. Oh, it's on this side.
Yeah.
See, I don't even remember. It happened yesterday.
Yeah, look for the Alaena that has the fun hair on YouTube.
I'll be there waiting for you.
Cool. And that's all, folks. Thanks so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed the conversation. One more time, Alaena, thanks for coming by. I was really happy to reconnect after
I know.
all these years. Not at, some shitty fucking VFW with a bunch of mediocre metal bands playing in the background, actually getting to sit and talk. I'll be back again in a few days with another conversation with somebody cool. You know how I do. Same time, same place, same channel. You know the drill. My name is Sykes. Start the Beat 2019. Whoop, woo, motherfuckers. Thanks for listening. And that is all. Hell yeah.
I'm like your backup dancer over here.
Yeah. Killer. I'm just gonna fucking I'm gonna green screen you into every future episode.
There I am doing the jig.
Hell yeah. And stop.